welcome everybody on today's webinar. The topic is Polarion connector for MATLAB Simulink. And a few words about the presenter. My name is Siri Walek. I'm a product manager at Polarion Software, especially responsible for Polarion ALM and Polarion requirements products. I'm in daily contact with our customers regarding traceability issues between all the different kind of artifacts. You will see that the traceability is a primary purpose for the MATLAB connector. If you would have any questions, of course, feel free to use the questions and answers panel of the WebEx platform, but you can also contact me later on the email address you will see on the screen. Today's agenda, I'll just start with a little introduction. I will speak on the topic of traceability. What is traceability? Why it's so important? We will speak about the process from system requirements to design and model. And finally, of course, I will also demonstrate the brand new Polarion connector for MATLAB Simulink. Just a reminder, the session is being recorded, so of course you can also later get the link to the recording and share it with your colleagues. I see that there might be someone on the call who are not really familiar with our solution. So Polarion ALM. Polarion is a privately held company. We have released our first product in 2004, and since the beginning we were really a kind of a leading innovator in the area of web-based application lifecycle management and requirements management. Recently we also introduced a brand new solution for quality assurance, provide so-called test hub feature set to integrate all the testing tools in a one single ALM solution and make sure that all the requirements are properly verifiable and validated. We focus a lot on mechatronics customers, so mostly companies producing embedded software, hardware parts, but not solely. We have more than 1 million users, pretty big number of large enterprise companies, more than 250. And especially great is that we really have a huge number of registered community members. We have more than 10,000 active community members who are very often also sharing the different extensions with us because Polarion is a very flexible and extensible platform. We provide all different kinds of APIs, and on our extensions portal, more than 150 extensions are being registered there, and not a few of them are created by our customers or consultants. We try to make sure that we really help our customers with being compliant to different industry processes. It was a first full ALM solution certified as a trusted tool for ISO 26262 by TÜV Nord, German certification authority. This was a great success last year for us. Today I will show you later, how Polarion is being integrated with MATLAB Simulink by MathWorks. Simulink is a block diagramming environment for simulation and model-based design. It supports system-level design, simulation, automatic code generation, and continuous test and verification of embedded systems. We definitely see that our customers were asking for the integration we are presenting today, and since we published this integration, it was really already downloaded by many of our users. Traceability. Before we really start presenting the actual connector, let me mention a few words about what is a traceability and why traceability is so important. So first, what is traceability? And I like this definition of traceability that says that traceability refers to the completeness of the information about every step in the supply chain. So the definition of traceability is the ability to chronologically interrelate uniquely identifiable entities in a way that is verifiable. Those definitions are a great source of motivation for us, because sometimes in other tools you see that traceability is only about linking. But you will see that traceability is not the link between a requirement and a test case, but ability to validate or verify or just report that the requirement has been really tested in some particular scope. We really try to concentrate on the use cases, on the process about every step in the supply chain instead of just providing a simple linking. If you want to chronologically relate those identifiable entities, first what is a prerequisite for that is that you really need to understand who, what, and when for any change. So actually every single change must be identifiable and accountable. And if you want to really isolate every single change, you need to ensure that every single artifact, every single requirement, and the requirement is typically just a paragraph in a specification document or every single block element in a model is also identifiable and accountable. And with Polarion ALM, we ensure that in a way that all the artifacts, including the process models, including the requirements, testing procedures, simply everything is stored in the version control repository. Every modification produces a globally unique identifiable revision. This is a base for our support of electronic signatures. And every single change is linked with username and password, so we really ensure that you have a full track of every single change, including understanding who did the change, when, and partially also why. And about this why, we'll speak in a second. So then, requirements traceability. So before we can, this is the next step in traceability. First is the historical traceability, being able to really track every single change in the history. And the requirements traceability is concerned with documenting the relationships between requirements and other development artifacts. So its purpose is to facilitate, first, the overall quality of the products under development. Second, the understanding of the product under development and its artifacts, and also the ability to manage change. So not only the requirements themselves should be traced, but also the requirements relationship with all the artifacts associated with it, such as models, analysis results, test cases, test procedures, test results, project documentation. All of these kinds of artifacts needs to be traceable up to system requirements or business requirements, business rules. So what matters in requirements management is not an evolution so much as a structural evolution, a trace where requirements are derived from, how they are satisfied, how they are tested, and what impact will result if they are changed. And actually, this is just, a clear understanding of the traceability by user, but traceability is often required by different regulatory standards. As I mentioned, Polarion is the first full ALM solution certified for ISO 26262. And when you are passing this certification, we have been asked several times to provide an evidence that the requirements have been approved, implemented, and verified. And for that, we have shown that Polarion ALM, you can ensure that by the fact that also the design, in our case, the UML models, and all the artifacts are stored in the single repository, including the change request, review items. Artifacts can be semantically linked, so the consistency of the link is being checked. So I can ensure that environment can be closed only if a test case that is linked with role verifies being executed. Links can be across the projects. You can navigate around any level of hierarchy. And links are searchable, so you can generate all different live coverage reports that are available to all the users. So that's, just the basic introduction about traceability, why the traceability is so important. And let's just quickly check the process from requirements analysis to design and modeling. So in the first phase, in the typical product development, you need to gather and analyze system needs. And you need to transform those needs into verifiable system requirements and approved specification document. With Polarion, we provide really the very unique component. We call it a live document. It's a fully traceable, structured specification document. And this is really one essential thing, that document is being structured. So every single paragraph is uniquely identifiable, so we can later, as I will show you, link this paragraph with a block element in a MATLAB Simulink model. You can also import, export, and import the changes back using Office round trip. So I can import Word or Excel documents and modify them offline and import the changes back. And of course, what's also important in this system requirements gathering phase is that very often the requirements are being reused. So you might reuse the regulatory requirements, or you can just simply reuse large number of requirements because you manage different kinds of variants of your product. For that, we provide very rich capabilities to support requirements reuse and branching. So now, if the system requirements are being gathered, you typically need to design and model the solutions, the products. And for design, what's especially important is that you need to ensure the consistency of the requirements, but also verification plans, design requirements, system models. So simply all kinds of artifacts from electronical, mechanical, or software requirements, components models. You need to estimate the impact of the change system requirement before the change actually happens by studying the possible change of a design. And at the end, you need to validate that all the models and source code is validated against the design and system requirements. Again, with Polarion ALM, you will see, and I will show you that we can ensure that by the full traceability between system and design requirements. This will include integration with the modeling solutions like UML design for software or system models by the Simulink tool that we will present. There is a very unique feature we call refine mode, so you can easily just start typing the design requirements, and the design requirements are automatically linked to the selected system requirements. So we really think that the ease of use is essential prerequisite to make traces possible, because if it is difficult to create a trace, a link between different artifacts, the people will simply skip it or provide enough level of traceability. We also have ability to help with understanding or better control of the modified system requirements by so-called suspect links. This will be also shown in the demonstration later. And we should not forget about the final validation. So with Polarion ALM, we bundle a fully featured quality assurance solution that integrates very well with third-party test automation tools. I don't know, for software, these are just JUnit tests, load tests, performance tests, but we also integrate well with some tools for hardware in the loop tests, system and design testing tools. So we think that the ability to manage all those testing activities from a single tool is essential for a final validation. So this was an introduction for the demonstration, summarizing what's the traceability and why the traceability is so important. Now let me show you how you can manage the traces between system and functional requirements in Polarion and design models in MATLAB Simulink. So what you see on the screen now is Simulink model, and first easy to highlight all the model elements that are being actually linked to the requirements. So if I navigate around the Simulink model, I can very easily just open the menu and open the linked work items. So it opens me the table with all the linked work items, and it automatically opens the requirement being managed by Polarion. So you can easily read the associated requirements related to the model element. You can also, open the sub-requirements and navigate back from the requirement in the Polarion to the model element that is managed back in MATLAB Simulink. So it's a bidirectional traceability. The traces are being stored both in the Simulink model and also in a Polarion requirements or Polarion ALM platform. There is no limitation. You can link any number of requirements with single block element in a MATLAB, or several MATLAB elements can be linked with a single requirement in Polarion. If you can link all those items together, it's important now to make the design requirements in Polarion more rich. So this is an example of typical design requirement specification document in Polarion. So again, it's a textual description of the design requirements. And you can very easily customize the document presentation. As I told you, all those documents are rich and structured. So I can just configure the UI that the MATLAB links are directly accessible from the design specification document. So when reading the actual design specification in Polarion, I can just on the fly switch to the MATLAB interface to check that the design requirement is properly modeled in MATLAB Simulink. As you actually see, it's not an integration only with MATLAB Simulink, but we integrate in the same way with the state flow models. So how the links can be actually created. So how can I link the model elements with requirements? Let me again first just highlight all the elements that are already linked so we can see the items that are not traceable. So here is a little state flow element that I would like to link. And I can open the linking interface in MATLAB interface, and I can on the fly live search for the requirements managed by Polarion. So let's search for this overspeed requirement and link it with Polarion element. So now the items are being linked, and of course I can just open and follow the link if needed to check the requirements content. For those who are familiar with MATLAB requirements traceability module, all those links are stored in the requirements interchange module of MATLAB. So it's a fully standardized interface, and it works the same way as you can link the MATLAB models with Office files. But here, the benefit is that you can very easily follow the links to every single particular requirement in a document that is uniquely identifiable. One thing is the ability to link requirements, system requirements or design requirements with a model element. This enables more information to a Simulink model. So I can just type additional information that I cannot easily explain in the model itself, track it in a design requirement specification document, and have all those additional requirements to the model being tracked by Polarion. But in the same way, we think that it's very important for the impact analysis to provide an option to check the actual model online in a Polarion tool. Because, as you might know, Polarion ALM is a fully web-based application, and this enables an instant collaboration all the team members across the world. So the great thing is that 85% of our customers are actually using our latest technology. And this is definitely, supported by the fact that you don't need to install anything on the client. Everything is web-based, and no matter where you are, you can just connect using your web browser to our platform. So we do not allow just linking requirements, existing requirements with a model on it, but we also enable by the connector publishing of the full subsystem to Polarion. So let me show you how it works. So let's select the subsystem, and we can invoke the Polarion menu again and send call to action publish subsystem into Polarion. And now the work item is being generated, and it includes a live preview of the actual model. I can now link all those mechanical requirements or mechanical design items that includes the diagrams with system requirements, and it enables the impact analysis being done directly in Polarion without a need to always open the MATLAB model on a desktop. Maybe I was a bit misleading on the information that the model is really live, because of course if you need to generate a preview of the diagram and attach it to a work item, this is really not a live synchronization. But there is an easy way how to actually synchronize those diagrams with Polarion. So if the model has been changed in the Simulink model, so now let me just modify a layout of a model. I can save that and republish or refresh the published diagrams in Polarion. In this way, I can make sure that the information between MATLAB and Polarion properly synchronized. So if I open the published diagram again in Polarion interface, it's being updated well. There are some questions, so let me just answer them now, because it's great that we can have this webinar more interactive. So when you navigate from a link within Polarion to a Simulink model element, what license of Simulink or MATLAB products are needed? This feature set is part of Simulink Verification and Validation Center. So to enable the linking, you need to have inside of your Simulink product enable the requirements traceability module that is part of verification and validation. Is the Polarion integration with Simulink a separate toolbox in MATLAB to buy? No. Polarion integration with Simulink is a connector provided by Polarion software. It's a fully certified solution by Polarion. We certified, we support it, and you can download it for free from our extension site. What revision of MATLAB do you require? Definitely works with MATLAB 2012, and we are now being in the certification of MATLAB partnership program to make sure that the connector works well also with the previous versions of a MATLAB solution. So let me now summarize all those activities together. So what we were able to generate is that we saw on the beginning system requirement specification document. It's a so-called live document, fully structured document. Even in this system requirements document, I can have the links to the actual model elements, and I can have the design, electromechanical design specification that includes the preview of the models and the actual design requirements. I can link them together, so there is a full traceability tree between the system or business requirements down to the design requirements. And even more, if I modify the actual system requirements. Let me just provide a simple change here and save it. We automatically mark all the design requirements as affected. So this means that you should review the change of the system requirements. There's actually an easy way to get a list of all those potential change impacts on the My Polarion page. And if I open the design requirements, I can see the model itself that can be easily reviewed from the Polarion interface. And of course, I can open the Simulink model directly through the hyperlink being generated by the connector. So there's really a full traceability that enables impact analysis from the system requirement to the design requirements down to the model in a Simulink. Let me also mention another traceability information that we manage between MATLAB and Polarion, and this is a change trace. So actually the source code traceability is definitely often required by regulatory standards. This is an excellent quote from one U.S. aerospace manufacturing customer that was passing the DO-178B audit, and they are simply saying that the change records were linked to the source code revisions, and we were able to show the changes to a source file are matching the description of a changes documented in the change records. And this ability to isolate changes, link them with the change records are often must-have regulatory requirements that all the companies involved in mechatronics, in medical device manufacturing, automotive, aerospace need to fulfill. And actually, the great thing about Polarion is that it includes the Subversion version control management repository. And this is the provider that is by default supported also by the Simulink project. So if I modify the models or the generated C routines in Polarion, I can just easily link the changes from MATLAB with tasks in Polarion. So it's not just the ability to link the model elements, but also the ability to link any single change to a design or to the generated source code in MATLAB interface with tasks being controlled in Polarion. And of course, I can open the history view and compare the actual changes directly from the Polarion interface. So this allows the code review or model review just from the Polarion interface. So the fact that it's a connector from MATLAB to Subversion allows also a very easy and straightforward change management of the MATLAB models and code. So let me see if there are more questions. Yes. So can I also link the test cases with model elements? Actually, yes. There is no limitation about what can be linked with the model elements. The Polarion is a very flexible tool. As you can see here on the left side, you can set up any number of development artifacts from the system software, mechanical requirements to electrical test cases. We also provide risk management support for risk analysis. You can isolate the change records and the change requests. And also we provide support for work items management, issue and task management. And you can link any of these work items with any block elements in a Simulink or stateflow model. How is the connection to Polarion being managed? So the connection from MATLAB to Polarion is managed through our web services API. So there is a direct connection that you need to set up from the Simulink interface or MATLAB interface to Polarion, and web services protocol is typically open because it's an HTTP protocol that needs to be enabled between the desktop client and a Polarion server. Are the changes tracked on the actual user? So can I understand who is linking what? Yes, as the Polarion connector is being connected to Polarion server through the web services, this connection needs to be authorized. So when you set up the connection from the Polarion server to the client, you need to provide your username and password, and it's stored on the client. So every single Simulink center can be authorized with a different username. Do I need to install connector on the server? No. The connector is, there is no plugin or extensions needed to be installed on the Polarion server. All we need is just to download the Polarion connector from our Exchange server, extensions Exchange server. So if you just go to polarion.com/connectors/Simulink, let's go there live. It opens our POP site. And here we can see the Polarion connector for MATLAB Simulink that you can download for free. Do you support the extensions by your supporting if you are under valid support maintenance contract? Yes, the solution is fully certified by Polarion. So all the customers who have the valid maintenance contract can easily download the extension and install in their local setups, and we provide the support for the connector. In what format of the MATLAB do you import it to Polarion? So basically all the links are, so first, if you are speaking about links, the links are being managed on both sides. So inside of MATLAB in the requirements interchange module, so you can link just through the MATLAB hyperlinks to Polarion work items, and the same from Polarion we store just the hyperlink to the local model. So these are just the basic HTML links. It's great that both tools support the HTTP protocol to navigate from one artifact to the other. And regarding format of the model preview, it's simply a generated picture. So if you want, you can definitely export this diagram into a Word file for external stakeholders review, or generate a PDF documentation from the design documents being managed in Polarion. What if there is no internet connection available? Is there an offline option? Actually, yes, because there is also a way to link the requirements directly through the standard requirements interchange module of MATLAB. So the Polarion menu you have seen in a demo is just the ability a way to simplify the linking between Polarion and MATLAB in a way that you can online search for the requirements from a MATLAB interface. If you export the specification to a Word file or PDF, and it includes the links to the Polarion requirements, you can also link the block elements manually just using the HTTP links, even though we prefer the online option because the usability is slightly better. What kind of method do you use to parse the Simulink model? Actually, the great thing about both MATLAB and Polarion is that we provide a great API. So it was really pretty easy to generate the preview of the diagram by the MATLAB API and just upload it to Polarion through the very flexible and rich web services API of Polarion server. Would you please explain how the integration is being made? I think this goes a bit further, or it exceeds the scope of this webinar. I would really suggest if you can contact us via email at info@polarion.com or directly me, and you can follow up in a chat on this question, and we can set up a one-to-one meeting to explain the actual integration, how is it being managed and done. Can the changes made on Simulink model saved on the local disk be applied in the Polarion? If yes, how? So first, the links itself are in a MATLAB are being definitely stored in a Simulink model, so you need to save them. Of course, I mean, it's recommended to use some version control management system for simulating models. So finally, they are managed in the version control management repository. For example, some version, and then you can even link the changed models, so the actual changes with tasks or items in Polarion. If you are speaking about changes of the diagrams and how the change made locally can be applied to Polarion, I was demonstrating this in a way that if I modify the actual diagram, I can publish the changes to Polarion, so refresh the preview of a diagram in Polarion manually from a MATLAB interface. We also are planning to extend this integration in a way that we can run it as a scheduled job, so the changes can be synchronized automatically in the future. Is it only the image or the content also imported to Polarion? So yes, as I said, by default import only the image, but actually you can also import any block element. So if you would like to replicate a full model of your simulating model into Polarion, so you can have really a one-to-one mapping between model elements and design elements in Polarion, so you can easily link it afterwards. You can just select multiple block elements and publish them into Polarion. In this case, not for the subsystem, but for the block elements, the placeholders are generated, and you can easily link them with system requirements or functional requirements. With the Polarion connector, is the MATLAB verification and validation package required? Yes, exactly. I mean, the Polarion connector is being based on the verification and validation support of MATLAB Simulink. Okay, future version of MATLAB will support a data dictionary. Will Polarion interface to this? We've been in contact with MathWorks, and we are currently reviewing the actual options for extending the connector itself. The first option that we definitely would like to improve is the ability of isolate the changes better and being able to compare the models. So really provide the way to when I link the model changes with Polarion tasks, being really able to not just compare easily the changes in the generated source code, but also provide an option to review the actual changes of the model elements and provide the structured change analysis for a MATLAB interface. And regarding the data dictionary, this hasn't been discussed yet. It's great that you have raised this topic, and we will definitely include this in our discussions with MathWorks. So does it mean that you use the verification and validation for the blocks as well? It means that, I can probably show it back if I go to, so actually, let me wait a second so now, actually, there are two kinds of integrations points for where the integration between MATLAB and Polarion is being visible in Polarion. So first, we added this Polarion menu here that includes all the custom actions we have enabled to easily link the requirements with Polarion and publish the models. And you also see here the section requirements in this level. And as far as I know, this requirements module in MATLAB Simulink is based on verification and validation toolbox. So I think this is really the prerequisite. But we'll definitely confirm this and provide you better details if you follow up the conversation with us over email. Good. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I'm really happy that we have received so many questions from the public. please don't hesitate and contact us over email, or just go to our POP site. So www.polarion.com/connectors/Simulink, or just go to Polarion, select the extensions menu here, and you will find the connector being listed in the recent additions. Great. Thank you once again, and a reminder, the webinar was recorded, so we can definitely share the recording with you later once the recording is being processed. Bye.